And so maybe we can move to the first question. What inspired you to pursue a career in politics, specifically focusing on issues related to women, families, and communities?
Well, when I first saw your question, actually, I never pursued the career, but I have been enjoying politics since I was in school. So I always enjoy reading about it, reading about people in politics, topics about politics, but I never knew that I would be here. But the thing is, you see, on issues relating to women, families, and communities, it brings me back to my mother's time, because it was my mother who was very much involved in politics at the ground level. She was the ketua wanita for the whole of bahagian at that time. Seberang sungai, I don't know, they call it. It was old in the old days. So she had to jaga so many kampungs and so many kampungs. But of course, every kampung they have their own ketua. So that's how I could see how my mother led especially the women. And then you see, she was, because she had to stop schooling during the Japanese war occupation. So yeah, imagine, with, I think she was up to primary 3 only, according to her. But when you listen to her, you see, my house was just near the surau in my kampung. So when they have meetings, they use the mic, you can hear her. I was wondering, people like this, she can speak, without text, because they talk from the heart and also the wisdom. So I was, in a way, indirectly involved, because I'm being the youngest daughter. Being the youngest daughter, normally mothers always bring you here and there. So you listen to people, you see what they do, more of observation. So, but I didn't know that was politics. But the thing is, she was heading the political party punya, the head of the, they call it the bahagian division, through the whole area, throughout the Petrajaya. Petrajaya kan, Petrajaya. I got confused with Putrajaya here. So that's how I saw my mother, and indirectly I was already there with them. And then with regard to families, because my mother, I think naturally she is the kind, she was the people-centric kind of person. And then my house was where people would stop for anything, even the youths, auntie, I want some drinks. Auntie, I want this. Auntie, you go to the fridge, you open for yourself. That's my mother. So I, in a way, I think I've been following, her footstep. It's just that situation changed. And then on families, when people in the kampung, when they have problem, when they have to be sent to KL, then I realized, now this is what I'm doing. People were sent to KL because of heart problem ke apa, so they were sent to KL, IJN, the Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat Center, but they still have to bring their family. They treat as though my mother was a YB. Now I realize, as though my mother was a YB. They ask for money, So my mother, she didn't earn anything. But of course my father didn't earn much as well, because my father was an opposition before, independent. So he didn't work for anybody, so he had to do some odd jobs. So my mother, I don't know, she had a lot of gold jewelries before, because she was the daughter of the resident of Kapit. Mak Saleh lah, my mother. So she had a lot of jewelries, and she pawned and helped people. I mean, I only recall, when you ask this question, I recall this. It made me realize that, it was my mother who really led us into the people's movement, So with families, people would come to her, ask for money, minta tolong lah, utang, ask her to buy lands ke apa. To buy land is not cheap. But she gave whatever that she got. The reason why I know was I was the one who recorded. So and so pinjam, bukan pinjam. My mother said, bukan pinjam. You have to record that or no? I said, because we as young people want to make sure everything is in order. But she said, no, they want sedekah. So okay, that's on families. Communities. Memanglah she was the one who showed me the way to really entertain people, becoming people-centric. So I guess that's where I got it from. but without you realizing it, memang I enjoyed politics, I enjoyed talking, but I don't know what is the qualification to be a politician. So when I was brought into politics, it was by the late Tun Taib Mahmud, Prince Sri Taib Mahmud. So he asked me, how does political secretary sound to you? I don't even know what it means, because I'm not into that line. But I enjoy political talks, observing, of course, criticizing sometimes. I mean, you as somebody who really want good things to happen to your people, you criticize. Whoever you criticize, of course, it's always the government, kan? But that does not mean that you are against the government. But that's how I became involved in politics, because I got close to the people whom my mother was close to, even small kids. When they pass by our house, you want ice cream or not? My mom would ask them. Of course they want. You see children gathering near in front of our house. So, okay, you go and buy a box of matches for me. That cost only 20 cents. But she gave one ringgit. So the rest you buy ice cream. So of course the kids will always be gathering there. So in a way, you see, then youngsters, especially the youths, Auntie, any food at home? Go and look into the fridge. That's my mother's style. So I every day I see myself becoming like her. But that's how I got involved. I did not pursue directly, but it was naturally causing me to be in that line because of my. And after that, I was involved in NGO, the NGO that my mother was in.
Okay.
So her old friends asked me to help. I said, I've been helping, never mind. No. We want you to be in the exco. Oh, you see, these people are very demanding, but they are all my mother's friends. So that's how I got involved in families, communities, women especially.
Okay. She sounds like a very nice woman.
She's very, yeah.
Okay, so as a woman in a leadership role, what do you believe are the most pressing issues facing women, families, and communities in Malaysia, and how can they be addressed effectively?
Well, for me, how I see our women, especially in terms of economy, many of our women are not economically or financially independent. If you see the numbers of women going out to work at the moment is 56.2 as compared to men, 81.2% or something, 81.6. 81% lah anyway. So we are not trying to compete with men, but that shows that even though the population is quite high for men, for women, and yet we are not able to reach there. Why? It's because mainly I always say this, that women are always close to them, family is close to their heart, so they would prefer not to work. But having said that, there are also many women in the rural areas. To them, it's their duty to take care of the family. If you ask her, what do you do? Oh, I'm nothing, I'm just a housewife. Hey, I said, I want you to know housewives has a very, very important work. And you don't stop until you go to sleep. Nobody wants to take over your job, and you are not paid. Some people don't pay them. Either they're underpaid or they're just not paid at all. It's unpaid work. So therefore, I have to train them. So how do I tackle this in terms of leadership role for women and families and communities? Because what we do economic programs for women with the hope that there will be more women who will realize that, that they're very much needed, very important for them to be in the workforce. But when you say workforce, does not mean that they go out to work. What we want is they are able to produce something for themselves, earn their own living. So this is what I have been involved with ever since I was in NGO. I was always happy. In an NGO, I don't have funds. I have to look for agencies, to look for target group. Who do you want to train this time? Women. Okay, I give you my women. That kind of thing. My women means our members. Because I want them to be trained and I want them to speak up. As leader, I want them to speak up. You see women who ask them to speak up when they want to go at the front there to go to the microphone, they're shivering. they're shivering, shaking, their hands, but they still go there and hold the mic. Sometimes you can see the papers like this, they still speak. I always make sure that, okay, give her a big round of applause because she is daring enough to be up there. This is what I call a leadership role that they need to be trained and to be encouraged. So after that, because when you as a mother or as a sister or as a daughter, if you're daring to do that, the other members of the family, even your nephews, nieces, when they saw you, oh, I want to be like her in the future. So I want to have that in among the women. I want to instill that kind of spirits among them, encourage them. So being not just being women, but also being a mother, being a wife. Because some people, sorry to all the gentlemen here, not many of them, but some men, they tend to look down upon their wives because the wives are so dependent on them. So we don't want that, we want them to respect their wives. So if you are a woman, you are able to financially go out there and you can even tell your children, okay, I have my money, don't worry, go to school, give education to the children, don't worry, I have money on my own to assist you, or to help you. Husbands also have respect over you. Oh, I salute my wife. And I overheard one of the interviews because some people interviewed me, my families, my friends. So I was told when it comes to my husband, he said, when it comes to disciplining the children, it's on my wife's job already. So I don't have to do that. So I thought, oh, so easy for you. But anyway, it was just joking. But it's true. That's how they see you. That's why the leadership role must be shown because the children is observing you. So as a family or even though I'm not the eldest in the family. I'm the second youngest in the family. Everybody is coming to me for decision. They don't dare to, not because I'm a politician, but I don't know, maybe I have been like that all along. I say, okay, you speak first, as if I'm the boss. But the thing is that leadership quality in you is naturally there. So, okay, you speak first. You keep quiet. The rest of you keep quiet. You have the ability to say that. Nobody dare, I mean, not everyone dares to say that, but in my family, I'm talking about family. Well, just last night I had my meeting with my family whenever I had my opportunity. So talking about, we are going to discuss about my father's makan hole. Okay, so okay, what's going to happen? Okay, my brother told me, he briefed me everything. So how much do I put in? No need. He said, wow, now you all are very very independent already. So you see, they make sure that they're already prepared before they come to me. But it was not there for that purpose. It just happened that we just gathered together. But you can see that these people. I want to play back, uh, a back role, behind the scene. No, they will never allow me to do that. They will still want me to lead. So you see that is in the families I can see that, let alone the community. So I said I am taking after what my mother did before. So people are coming to me, but now sometimes they go to see my families to see, and how can I see your sister, because they cannot find me at home that often because I only come over the weekend. I go straight to my work. Work means communities. So especially my own constituents, but some people who are not even my constituents, they want to see. So I let my family, you all do your part as well. Lah. When it comes to money, people ask for money. Lah. That's where the problem. But anyway, but that's how things go. Yeah, that's how we work. But I'm talking about how you address it effectively. We do programs, okay, for economy and also for protection of for security and safety of the women. So that is partly also on leadership. So economy and also security safety program is also covering leadership. Yeah.
Okay. When it comes to financial independent and also the leadership role, right? When we instill this to the woman, it will give them like some sort of confidence, right? So
Correct.
in case there is any problems like in the marriage, such as abuse or something like that, so they are more willing to get out of abusive marriage, correct?
We don't suggest that, but at least they know what to do. You see, we have programs. Are you going to that? We have programs.
Okay.
I will go straight there.
Okay.
Okay, we have programs, okay, economy programs in order for us to help the women. You see, first when I asked our management side, what are the programs that they have. You see, slowly I will be informed about this kind of program, that kind of program. Then I realized we have a program. First is Wanita Bangkit. You know, especially after the COVID, people got divorced, people were abused because of the economic problems, I think maybe, and then they don't have jobs and they cannot go out of the house because they have been taking care of their families. So how are you going to help them? Then I was told we have this particular uh, Yayasan Kebajikan Negara. It's the National Welfare apa nama, Foundation, where we can help the women. So how do we help them? I said, because they can't go out, but they do want to contribute to the society. Contribute in the sense that they have their product, they have talents, you see. They want to show that, you know, I have products, I have talents, I want to do it, but I cannot leave my house. I have my kids, I have my nenek, I have my grandmother, or my mother, my parents, family members that I have to take care of. So we give them 500 ringgit each. But of course we identify, you know, Ibu Tunggal ke, B40 ke, whoever among them. Some of them, they have already started some small business, but they don't have license. But we don't bother whether they have license or not, because we want to help. When you want to help, you don't bother whether they have license or not, because they also can sell online if they can. In fact, I mean, in these days, the situation made it easier for them. But at the same time, they can sell it to whoever. Or some people just take from their house and then help to sell. They provide it as in a small scale wholesaling line. You know? So sometimes I mean, this, from when I talk like this, I based on what I've seen. Okay, I saw them selling cendol when I pass by in front of their house. YB, saya produk daripada Wanita Bangkit. You see, you can see. And then during the Ramadan, I said, oh YB, ingat muka saya tak? Saya Wanita Bangkit. You know, it has become a brand, because they're already starting jual cendol, jual acar, jahit all the curtains, jahit di rumah, and then jual biscuits. That one lagi lah, when during the coming now, Ramadan, you can see the product. Okay, how do we do it? We don't just give, you know, we monitor. So we have voluntary groups from the, for example, I do in one parliamentary area. So we create about 30 volunteers. Okay, they will be monitoring, because they were the ones who keyed in. Okay, when you came in for the for registration, then tomorrow you're already getting your 500 ringgit in the bank account.
Very fast.
Yeah, that fast. But some of them, they don't have bank accounts. Who do they have? Husband, some of them, or father. So they can borrow. But we must be informed, because it will be in our record. So, Mang, you kata very fast. Some people thought it was scammer when I mentioned that. So they didn't want to come. They thought it's scammer. Okay, up to you. You don't want to come. So after that, when they saw that it's really happening, now we have reached 9,023, yeah, for 2023 only. I have not pursued 2024 yet. So times 500, how much have we spent? But this is throughout the country. So 9,023. And then within 3 months, at first it was 6 months, we want to monitor. Within 3 months, we will see, because we want to see how serious are they about doing this in business. Well, not all of them who can get so much, but I think about how many percent, that maybe you have the figure, kan? How many percent achieved about 1,000 plus, other 3,000 plus, or even higher than that, you know. So we have percentage that can give you that. So you can see that. But that is just Wanita Bangkit, and we are going to pursue it again, okay? We have not finished. And then we have another economy punya activity program, but for those who are our welfare recipients. Welfare recipients, some of them receive 300, some of them 500, depending on the situation. So let's say some of them, they want to get out. I don't want to be a recipient anymore. I want to bayar zakat. I want to, to be like any other normal person. I want to do business. I don't have money. So we have a program called 2-year, 2 years exit program. After that they exit, they no longer become welfare recipient. So we give 2007 as a capital. I know 2007 is not much. So actually I wanted to increase to 5,000. So now I heard PM just announced kan, lain I minta, lain dia bagi. Lain dia bagi itu better than what I wanted to propose for him. Then that night he announced, but we don't have the mechanism yet, baru lagi. But you see, there are people who are very successful. There's one lady, I always quote her. We went to, I think, Pasir Mas Pasir Putih Kelantan. She was a recipient, Ibu Tunggal, and then she wants to get out. And then when she gets out, we give her modal di kampung, not much kan. She rented a small place dekat the tepi jalan. I went there to eat. Soup power. She call it soup power. Either you eat with rice or with noodles. That's the only thing she sells, apart from ada lah kuih sikit lah. So she told us now she can gajikan orang, she can recruit people, she can pay people to gaji. She at that time she had 2 workers. She had her own sons who were still schooling, but at times it would help her as well. And then she was able to purchase 10 cows from the kampung for a month, okay, for each month. And then she was able to buy a house for the parents. Cash, 400,000. I don't know. I hope LHDN didn't hear that. And then she said, orang Islam ni, they're always very proud dapat hantar parents pergi haji, pergi Mekah kan. She's very proud of them. And the main thing that she had been so proud of was that she was able to give people kerja. So after that, so she's still there, I think, and then she even moved to another site sebelah because she needed a bigger space. But that's one of them. We also have men. Okay, we help men too because men are also recipients. So we also have men, and then ada yang especially artists kan. So we help the men. Quite a number of them successful. Oh, dia punya calligraphy itu very much needed for people to give hadiah as gifts, corporate gifts. So this is a 2-year program, and we also have Mama Care. If you heard of them, Mama Care is more on kebanyakan ialah ibu tunggal lah. But we don't intend to just help ibu tunggal lah. But people really in need of and they are interested in the job themselves. We don't give them jobs, it's business for them. So this is more for postnatal. So they pergi urut people. But I was told that they even went beyond that, So they get, before that they were earning about 600 a month now, ribu, because the price, but we control the price so that they do not abuse lah. So they are depends on how many customers they can get, and that's their money, not our money. Cuma we only control the quality lah. This is more on traditional. But actually, apart from that, we also help people ada matching job, job matching, and then quite a number of things ada training. This is more on economy. But having said about economy, we also have programs to give more confidence to the women yang tak berani bila takut husband abuse ke apa. So we have NGO under our Jabatan Pembangunan Wanita, NGO called Squad Wajah. Wajah means wanita anti jenayah. So we give them training on laws, legislation. At the same time now we have already approved our anti gangguan seksual, akta anti gangguan seksual, and then we have this tribunal to give them more confidence, not just people in the kampung, even like you all working, especially I was some of those in the media asking me, when is it going to be effective? I was wondering why. they mentioned lah about what they're facing, the challenges. So now it's already there just to provide help and assistance, giving alternative for our women especially. But mind you, it's not just for the women, it's also for men. The numbers have increased. But the men, maybe they don't report this to the police, they report to our counsellors. When we have program, we have our counsellors at the counter there. They express themselves there, and we receive a lot of reports. Kalau dengan polis sikit je, I think dia malu. But with our counsellors, lebih 1,000. Now we have to stop for a while with our AGS, anti gangguan seksual, or even the wanita bangkit. So once we start again, we have our counsellor lagi. I mean the counter, they will come. But I would like to suggest for those who are facing this kind of challenges, just call our number 15999. You put inside there, and many people start calling again. Because when I mentioned about Wanita Bangkit, people now asking about the funds. But anyway, that shows that people are listening. 15999, oh, jam. People are asking about 500 ringgit.
I see.
And then PM now just announced people asking about that as well. But anyway, it's a good indication that people are listening and following up follow our program.
But for the men, right, what exactly do they report about?
Yeah, they also have
What
sexually
is-
been
oh, sexually
abused. Yeah,
abused.
sexual abuse.
Okay.
But the main thing is we want especially those youngsters, we want them to know that they have the rights. So even go to schools.
Yeah.
We have advocacy program in school so that they know how to go about with it. They can call which number. I remember. You must remember this number. What's the number? Oh, students say, 15999. We also have WhatsApp number, so that they know how to go about with it. And then at the counter for counselors, they even express themselves through their drawings. So this is also for adults, okay, to show whether they are okay on that day or not. Sometimes they are under pressure. That's why I want to know, how do we address this. So we do various means various approach for us to make sure that we are able to gauge their sentiments there.
For next question, during your tenure, did you face any specific challenges in advocating for women's rights and family welfare? And how did you navigate these challenges to bring about positive change?
Yeah, it is always a challenge for in anything that we do. We always face challenges, but in our case, to me, it's very sad, especially when you see women who are abused, children who are abused. So especially when it happens within the family. This is very difficult for us. So the only way that we can do is what we do. We in the ministry and also the government as a whole, the government has this Majlis Sosial Negara, where we are the secretariat. So we have the various ministries, okay, to also be in the committee, so that they will be able. We want to create ecosystem for the country, and we can't do it alone. So through this particular meeting, then we address issues on abuse, sexual abuse, and then also teenage pregnancies. We address so for education ministry, for them to also respond on what is it that they are doing. And then the unity ministry, what are they doing about how to create the system, KPKT, because everybody has a role. So we address this through this program at this meeting. So we will get MOH, for example, to also address certain issues that require their actions, like mental health, and then teenage or young people who committed suicide. So what is the problem? Which is not, we are not the experts in this. So we create all this, and even MCMC they are in on how they monitor the social media. So everybody is involved. and what are the modules in even the TASCA, the nursery schools, because we want to know how the teachers address, how do they educate the kids, because these are the kids who will be going up and then growing up, and then after that they will become adults. So what kind of citizens that we want to we want to produce for our nation, the rakyat, the kind of rakyat that we want for the nation. So we address it as a bigger entity. So memang is very challenging. Actually, every just now I received another message about child abuse being left, and then child baru, mother just started work, hantar just started work, hantar baby, dah baru how many just first day pergi nursery dah meninggal. This kind of thing is very pressing to read, but I cannot be very very emotional all the time, because all that we do is always that requires high empathy. But what do? We have to address this, but we cannot do it alone. That's why women must be very strong. That's why we have this squad wajah. We have to make sure that they are financially independent, because some of them, they're scared of their spouses. That's why even though people talk about high divorce rates in our country, but it still doesn't help, because quite a number of women are still scared to even go to the police station to express themselves, or even to report. Now, another area that we do to help the women who are in this kind of situation, they don't dare to go out. That's why we have Squad Wajah. Our Squad Wajah will also be assisting the community leaders. We have just launched, I think, we have been to two states, I think, but this is only covering the daerah lah, the community leaders. We want them to tackle this, so we just launched community-based organization directory. What do we mean by this? Because if anything happens in the kampung, for example, ketua kampung is always the one who should know. But what do they do? So we provide them with numbers, or with this kind of matter, what you do, who do you contact, what number. So we provide them with a directory. So this is an ongoing thing that we are going to carry on with, because it is not something that you can prepare a standard CBO directory. It has to be, like say you are in Putrajaya, it's just Putrajaya. Sepang, for example, the first one that we launched was in Sepang. So after that was in Malacca that day. So everything it has to be home based.
Second question, how do you prioritize self-care and well-being amidst the responsibilities of political life, and what activities or practices help you recharge and stay focused?
Within these 2 weeks, I think I have been receiving this question, though phrased differently, for 5 times, I think. I just my mind. I asked, do you ask this to the men? So yeah, but the thing is, as a leader, you have to know what your priorities are. So for me, my first priority is still my children, my family. So, but in order to have a very good family, good children, who will live happily, I have to work. I cannot depend on my husband alone, because it's not fair. Imagine when you met your husband in university, he wasn't even earning a living yet, and after that he worked. How much did he earn as a university graduate, right? So we have to help. If I want a good life, I have to help. But the way I help is maybe, of course I worked before that. After that I resigned, because I don't want to keep working, earning fixed income. So I did my own business, quite a number of things that I did just to to make sure that I have my own money. I don't ask for money from husband or That's why I said to my daughter, don't depend on rich boyfriend or rich husband. You must be independent on your own, so that you can plan for your own, you see. So I'll give priority to my children, But I must make sure giving priority means I also need to work to provide for them as well. Of course, I have to go. You see, as a politician, I have my constituency to take care of. So I must make sure that I always go back almost every week. Almost every weekend, I will fly to back to Sarawak, to my constituency, and make sure that my constituents are taken care of. So, I mean, of course, we have your staff, but the thing is, it is you who know. You know, sometimes the staff will say, okay, they always ask for money, the same people. I said, no, I want to know why is he doing that. So let us entertain. Of course, infrastructure needs to be upgraded all the time. And after that will be my ministry. So ministry, I have inherited this ministry for long. I mean, since how many years ago they have been there. So they've been doing the same thing all the time. So now slowly, I am bringing some reforms. That's why you see I'm talking about invest in women. We cannot just been talking about, oh, there's so many girls who have been going to university. After that, they cannot go in for their studies anymore. I mean, they cannot go to work because they have to take care of the children. The same old story. I said to PM, it's old newspaper for me to say that I want something new. I said, so what do you want me to do? He said, that's what he said to me before he announced that night. So that was what happened in the cabinet meeting. What do you want me to do? So I mentioned something that I want him to do, so that you can make women happy, not because of money, but you are giving them more confidence. We are empowering them. So I smiled. When he mentioned that, wow, I smiled. It was something slightly different from what I wanted, but at least he wants to help women. So this is the thing. I have to think of something new, and also some of them are, the old policies are not really working anymore, because sometimes like for example Pawe is pusat activity warga emas. So last time was only one in each parliament, but nowadays, before me, I think they have already decided to have more than one, more than one. But sometimes they can't think, just because when the place is so near. For example, my kawasan is Parliament Santubong. We have a pawe not far away, about 5 kilometers away, but under a different parliament, under Satok, under Petrajaya. So, staff just cancel. I said, what's you to cancel that? Don't you think it's a different parliament? Because the thing is, you cannot just work from the desk. You must go on the ground, then you see. Because they cannot imagine. So it's my role to make sure that in the ministry, I have control as well in terms of knowing what's being decided is no longer relevant. You have to bring new things. So quite a number of new things that our policies that we have brought some reforms. So this is how for me, how I prioritize my focus on my work and my family. Yeah.
A last question. As a public figure, what message would you like to convey to young women aspiring to enter politics or contribute to betterment of their communities in Malaysia?
I really want I really want to talk to young people. Although I don't have much time to conduct program with them at the moment, only a few at the moment, but I really want to say this to the young people. If you're really interested in politics, but not just to be a figure in politics, you must make sure that you observe. You don't just rely on what is in the social media, because quite a number of them, they are not really very reliable. So you observe what are the policies of the government that not really helps you. So how is it? But don't just condemn. Please help to also come up with your own suggestion. You should do this. So constructive criticism. You when you talk to when you want to be in politics, don't just be a politician. You must observe. And then what is it that can do better for the young people? Talking about education. Education policy, is it good? If it is not good, what do you think is better? How can you make it better? Because people have been doing this. The older ones have been doing it, and during that time, that was the right thing to do. But now maybe it was not the right thing. I mean, it's different. You need to bring something new. So the youngsters, for you to be in politics, please observe, and then bring new things that can really help you, because we have to prepare this country for the new generation. And you, the young people, it is for you. And you're also going to prepare for a new generation. And the agenda during that time might differ. The contents will differ from one another, because situation has changed. Now you are talking about AI, talking about IoT, talking about um, um, the revolution 4.0, industrial revolution, all sorts of things, which I couldn't imagine because I was a minister in the Prime Minister's department when we were talking about this. We said by the year 2020, Tun Mahathir, right, said the country will have, our nation will be more into IT and everything. So when I became a minister in innovation, so in my speech I said, okay, in a few years time we will be observing this. We will have internet in IoT, artificial intelligence, all these innovative things. How will it happen? I don't know. Until COVID, you can see that suddenly, it was accelerated. Orang kampung pun tahu QR code, because they have to use QR code to sell online, because they cannot go out. So jual nasi lemak online, laksa online. This has been accelerated. So for young people, by the time you want to be a leader, situation will change. So you cannot just condemn what happened before this, because these people, or even people like us, we already prepare it for you. It may not be enough. It may not be sufficient. But inshallah, with your reforms, it will become better. So be a good politician. When you think about good politician in Malaysia, we are not well paid. Okay, we are not well paid, except for Sarawak lah. Sarawak State, yeah, they're very well paid. But MPs in West Malaysia here, in the federal, we are not well paid. We are even now being we deducted 20% of our salary. Ever since COVID, our salary have been deducted all the time until today. Okay, but do we complain? No. Why don't we complain? Because we know once you're into this, it's not about earning money. I mean, for me personally, I'm here to serve. Because I have one grandnephew ask me, what do you do when you say you serve? There are things that you can express with words. There are things that you have to keep to yourself here. You want to help people? Help. Do help it. Help them. Do whatever you can to help the country. You don't want to keep showing, in the social media, I'm doing this, Then people are seeing you, they observe you. In the future, they will see what you have been doing. You can observe that in the YouTube these days. What people said before are now being recycled, and they spread it, again and again and again. You can't change that anymore. So be careful. So that's why for me, it's not personal. I do not want to be personal in my political career. I am made to be here to help, to improve things. So whether it is up to your standard or not, that's different matter. If you think that you can do better, okay, be in politics and do it for the country. So for young people who want to be politicians, make sure you do better than us, because you have to serve all the new generation who are all those are very sophisticated people. They know a lot of things, especially about the media, the social media, and you must learn how to handle them well. Spiritually, you have to be very strong. Okay, in politics, spiritually, you have to be very strong. It's not about I'm very popular. You can be popular in a good or positive or negative way. So be strong to face this, especially spiritually. That's why you have to pray hard. Make sure, yeah. So for young people, we welcome them. I really want to hear. I like to engage with them. So we welcome their ideas, but make sure sometimes what they suggest to you is easily applicable. or accessible. Some I know they've been talking about Sarawak last time when we were with, oh, Sarawak is like this, Sarawak like that. You see now Sarawak is the center of everybody's attention. Why? Because we are doing the right things. But those who have been there, who is in the position, have been talking about us, criticizing, condemning us before. Now they are also focusing on Sarawak because I know it's only Sarawak who is doing the. But I mean, I hope you all can vouch with me. People are now engaging in Sarawak because we are focused on development, on economy. We're not talking about politics. It is politics because in order for you to be a developed nation, you must be stable. But what do people measure you with? Economy, especially. What do you do for your people? So that's what I mean when it comes to politics. You know, so young people, you must think. Look at what our our leaders are doing and see whether it's enough or not. If not enough, what is it that you want to do better for them? Although this is not to be answered by me, okay, because I don't have the figures. Um, actually, to approve this, it is not just the government. We have to bring it to the the rural rulers conference, and they have also analyzed it. So whatever that the government is putting up is with the consent of the rulers, and then on the stateless matters, actually, yeah, they are looking at the numbers. But that's why I'm very careful with this. They're looking at the numbers. Actually, yeah, we hope that it doesn't end here lah. We will have more to pursue lah, to improve it. When we say improve, we already done something that actually this is what I wanted to see happening in when I was Minister of Law in 20 when I was Minister of Law, because you see we have problem with definition of parent. So I was suggesting why not you standardize. Parent means ibu bapa, ibu bapa, you know, or ibu atau bapa, you know. So, I mean it includes both lah, you know. But see, in the Malay version is different in the Syariah punya. So so that's what. But now, Alhamdulillah, this has been tackled. So there'll be more. There are more that we want to tackle. Actually, the amendment, the proposal to the amendment, there are more to that. But we hope to see more improvement lah. Stateless ones, we hope that yeah, they'll be tackled as well very soon lah. You know. But they say one by one.
Okay.
It's not government.
Okay.
That's why I have to be very careful.
Yeah, I understand.
Because I've been pushing as well because I have to answer for the women. So that's why I told PM, oh, it's good for you to mention it. Yeah. Although, yeah, it's not enough. Okay, it's not enough. There are more that we want to do, but perhaps maybe with the hope that, you know, with the coming rulers conference, we have some other provisions to be amended. Although it's already been prepared there.
See, I have one more thing, right? We sent the questions, but it wasn't approved. But maybe if you just give a general answer on this lah. So right now, on the social media, on X, on Instagram, and then there's also on the fence, right? Youngsters are using these platforms untuk jual diri, jual badan macam tu. Yeah. So as a former Minister of Law, and also right now the woman minister, maybe you could tell us whether the legality of that.
Now, I won't approach in terms of legality.
Okay.
So, because we have the Majlis Sosial Negara,
Okay, alright.
we have the MCMC to monitor all this.
Okay.
Not just that, but quite a number of things.
Okay.
So, especially on, yeah, one of them is that. So, MCMC is looking into this, and then, yeah, in terms of action, we'll have to see what action they're going to take later. So, but we are tackling that as well.
Okay, well, Women Ministry is aware and also
Yeah,
monitoring.
it was discussed in our Majlis Sosial Negara.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah. Because like hari tu kita interview seorang ni tau, dia memang buat benda-benda ni. And she said like community here dekat Malaysia macam quite big, and ada people yang as low as like 14 years old are doing it, and they're getting
That's the reason why we have MCMC is monitoring KDN, the police. So, but mainly MCMC first because it is on social media. They are monitoring all these social problems lah.
Yeah.
Overall, I cannot just mention one. There are
Betul,
quite number.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about teenage pregnancies, it
Yeah,
is
it's
affecting
related,
our,
right?
so interrelated. That's why, as I said, we have to create the ecosystem, talking about values, values that the parents have to make sure that they educate their children. Although, some parents are different. That's why we have unity government. When they have a unity the ministry, they also conduct programs, parenting programs. That includes our LPPKN. We conduct parenting programs. We also look into teenage pregnancies.
Okay.
Yeah. So trying our best, and every ministry is trying to do that.